Hey friends, and welcome back. I am Andrea, and you have reached the cutest little thing. I'm so glad to have you here, whether you have hung out with me before or if this is your first time, welcome. I hope that you like what you see, and if you do, please hit that bell before you leave so you don't miss any future videos. I missed you all last week. I did not get a YouTube video out. We were over on Facebook having our Christmas in July event. We had a week load of fun. I hope that you were able to go over and join me for that. And if you haven't, you can still hop over and watch the replay. And if you do, hashtag replay in the comments and let me know that you watched so I can tell you hello and thank you for watching. So for today's video, I had a lot of a certain item in my stash, so I wanted to just grab those out and upcycle and get them in my booth because this is a popular item in my booth, so it was the perfect time to get them all remade and ready. Any guesses on what it is? I think I'll let you be surprised, which the thumbnail probably gave it away. So either way, thank you for hopping on to watch the video, and without further ado, we will get started with the video.
Moving on to our next project, we have a rolling pin. This is a full-sized rolling pin. I love grabbing these at the thrift store when I see them. I want to paint the handles. I want to paint a reddish color, so I have this Waverly chalk paint in the color Crimson. I'm trying to finish up. There was just a little bit left, but I have a transfer. I'm trying to match that color, so I need to mix a few colors together to achieve that goal. So I had some orange chalk paint as well as some yellow acrylic paint. I mixed all of that together and went ahead and painted both of those handles. And the orange chalk paint I used was the color Pumpkin, and the yellow was the color King's Gold. I got those handles painted, and I only did one coat. Now I'm ready to paint my roller part, going in with Fusion Color Parchment. This is a beautiful white color. I'm just painting that entire rolling piece part of it, and I also paint the edges of it that go right beside the handles, and you just want to paint those very carefully. And you could tape your handle up around that part that meets if you want to, but I just freehand it and be super careful. And I did let that first coat dry, and I went in with a second coat. Now here is my transfer. This is a beautiful apple blossom transfer. This is from the spring IOD release from this year. And I just took that whole piece of transfer. It fit perfectly as far as the width, and it went around and met back up together perfectly. So I didn't have to cut and piece this transfer at all. I just placed it on very carefully, making sure that it was centered. Went in with my transfer tool, and you just want to rub back and forth along your image, and then you will start slowly peeling up your clear paper. And if you pull up and your transfer is not adhered, just keep rubbing some more with your tool until it is, while you slowly peel up that paper until your entire transfer is adhered to your piece. And then you just want to take that clear piece and rub back and forth, making sure you don't have any air bubbles or anything like that. I did want to wax this piece, so I'm using Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax in the color white. And now our Fusion paint has a built-in sealer, but I did need to seal in that transfer, so this wax is not only giving it a beautiful white hue, but it's also sealing in our transfer. And then I go over the handles as well, and that's sealing in that chalk paint because Waverly or the acrylic paint used did not have a built-in sealer. So you just want to be sure you seal those pieces with wax or a top coat of some sort. And I did decide to use some brown wax, and this is Dixie Belle's brown wax. And I just wanted to take a small paintbrush and just dab around the very edge just to give it some dimension and make it pop. And I did decide to go over the handles a little bit as well as going over the entire rolling pin. At first, I was just going to do those handles, but I decided to go ahead and go over the whole thing. I wiped back the excess, and you can see the difference there in that look. I showed you where I have completed half, and the other half was just the white wax. So it's your preference. If you don't want it to look aged and a little dirty, then you could skip the brown wax step. And here I am wiping back that excess. And look how pretty this is. I did decide to add a little bow on the handle. I just had some pieces of burlap ribbon and some lace. I just did like a crisscross messy bow, tied it all together with jute string. And I had a little half bead there. I did stain up a little bit using some of that brown wax. And I'm just going to embellish the center of that bow with it. I took a wooden tag as well and a stamp from Amazon, a little floral stamp. And I simply inked up that section of stamp that would be on that tag and pressed it right down. And cleaning that stamp, you want to wipe your stamps when you are finished with them. Giving it a dry so it doesn't smear on me, because that ink does need a little bit of time to dry, and it will smear. And I did decide to dirty this up with some brown wax as well. I went a little heavier around those edges just to give it dimension and so it would pop, and then went over the entire front part of the tag and wiped back the excess as well. I added that to our bow and put that little half bead in the center with some hot glue. And I just took the jute strings that were attached to the bow and I tied them around the handle. Sometimes I hot glue the bows and then sometimes I tie, just in case the buyer does not want the bow on there. They can easily remove it if it's just tied on there. Because I know it's all preference. Not everyone likes bows, but I think it adds a cute touch. And our rolling pin is completed. What do y'all think about this one? Next up, for these rolling pins, I get this pack of little mini ones off of Amazon, and I want to just do this entire set to get ready for my booth. I'm going in first with Fusion in the color Parchment. And I'm going to do each one a little bit different. So for this one, I'm painting the rolling part of it with the parchment color. And now Fusion does have a built-in sealer, so you do not have to worry about sealing your paint before transfers or after your completed project, although you would have to seal your transfer. I'm just giving that a quick dry, and I went ahead and did several like that where I painted the rolling part. Now I'm taking Fusion's cast iron color. Look at this beautiful color. It is one of my favorites. And some of them I'm going to paint the handles this color, the cast iron color. It's a beautiful charcoal color. And I take a very small paintbrush and paint that siding there. And again, you can tape it if you would like, but I just freehand it and clean up any boo-boos that I may get. I set those to the side to dry. Now I'm taking Fusion's Blue Pine. Y'all, this is another one of my favorite colors. It's a beautiful bluish gray. And I'm taking that small paintbrush and painting some of those handles this blue pine color. Now I have a pack of transfers here. I got these off of Amazon. They do have a bit of a sheen to them, so if you don't like that look, you probably won't like these. But I think they're really cute. They had lots of birds on them, little cute sayings, some florals, some greeneries, and I'm just choosing the ones that I want for my rolling pins and just cutting, and you can just cut and piece these together how you would like. They're very customizable. I just lay it on my rolling pin. I'm trying to get it cut and pieced to the size that I need it for my project piece here. And I'm just taking the end of my paintbrush to adhere this transfer. I do find that using the end of a paintbrush or a pen, something like that, it helps when you're on a smaller project piece, it helps a little bit better adhere your transfer than the transfer tool itself. And then I just chose a little bird I cut out, and I was going to place him on there. And I just continued to work on these little mini rolling pins. They are super cute. They come in a pack of 6, I believe. Or it may be 8. I may have just had 6 left from my pack. I can't remember, but I will include the link in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, it'll be in the description, so you can check those out. And I just continued that process, just going through those transfers, cutting and piecing how I wanted them on each rolling pin. And I did have kind of the same theme going on with the birds and the florals. Now I want to go in, this is the Sweet Pickins beeswax in the white, and I want to use it to seal in these transfers. And the Sweet Pickins beeswax, it has a little bit of a white hue, but not as much as like the Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax. So it is more clear. So I do like using it on project pieces where I want the wax and I want that little bit of hue, but not that much, if that makes sense. I'm trying to just kind of help y'all know the difference in the different products that I use on my projects. This is probably one of my favorite rolling pins that I did. I just love the colors in the bird and the florals and how it paired with those handles and the cast iron color in the Fusion. And these transfers, they adhere really well. I have used these several times, and the film is a lot more sticky than like an IOD transfer, but they still adhere really well. Again, you just want to be sure your paint is sealed because that film is so sticky, it does tend to pull off paint if it is not sealed. So that's just a little FYI for you there. And I'm just continuing to seal in those transfers and creating that little bit of white hue with that wax. I love how each individual rolling pin turned out. I love the size of these. These are perfect for your tiered trays or on a shelf as a little shelf sitter sitting up on a stack of books or something in your kitchen. The possibilities are endless with these. I hope y'all love them, and I hope they inspired you and helped you, just gave you some ideas to create and upcycle your own rolling pins. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments.
I hope that you are enjoying today's video so far. I just wanted to let you know that next week's video will be my Christmas in July video for YouTube. And I wanted to get your opinion. I know some of you are not on Facebook, and we had so much fun last week with our live crafting. I didn't know if any of you would be interested in me sharing one of those live video crafts over to YouTube, right here on YouTube. So let me know in the comments if that's something you would be interested in. And we'll get back to the crafting.
For our next rolling pin, I'm going in with Dixie Belle's color Cucumber Ice. This is a beautiful color. I haven't had it very long. I have already used it. At first glance, you see an off-white, but the more you paint with it and as your paint begins to dry, you will see hints of a green tone and even a yellowish tone. It's a very neat color. I love it very much. So I just wanted to go in and paint the handles of this rolling pin. So you just want to be really careful, and you can tape the end of your rolling pin if you would feel better about that. But if you do get a small little boo-boo, you can sand it right off with a piece of sandpaper. Now we're going to be using a transfer on the rolling part of the pin. So I just want to go in with a coat of Big Top just to seal this wood in, to seal the piece, because transfers adhere so much easier when your piece is sealed. Trust me, I have been hard-headed plenty of times trying to apply transfer without the piece being sealed, and it is a headache. So just go ahead, do yourself a favor, seal your piece, and then go on with your project. After that Big Top is good and dry, we are ready for our transfers. These are IOD lemon transfers. I'm not sure if you can still find these transfers. You could search Etsy or eBay, something like that. I do know they are hard to find. I have had these pieces of lemon transfer in my stash a good while, but I had several pieces, so I wanted to go ahead and use these up. And this was at the time I was working on some lemon pieces for my booth. So it worked perfect to have these little pieces I could piece together on this rolling pin. So if you've never applied a transfer before, it's very easy. You just take the little transfer tool that comes in your pack and rub back and forth on that piece of clear film. You can also use, like here you see me using the tip of a paintbrush. Sometimes it's easier, it comes off easier than the transfer tool. So whatever you have laying around there that you can use really, and just rub it back and forth, and your transfer will begin adhering to your piece, and you slowly want to lift up on that piece of clear film until your entire transfer is adhered. And I just did the same technique, piecing all those lemon pieces all around this rolling pin to get the look I wanted. And look how pretty that is. I love those yellow and green colors on that wood tone. I'm so glad I decided to leave the rolling part the wood color, and then the Big Top just kind of brought out, it kind of enhanced those wood tones as well. Now I did want to go in with some white wax, so I am using Dixie Belle's Best Dang Wax in the white, and this is going to seal in that transfer. You want to be sure you seal in your transfers, but it's also going to give me a beautiful white hue over these wood tones. And I did go over those handles as well with my wax here. And that's sealing the Dixie Belle paint, because the Dixie Belle paint does not have a built-in sealer. So you want to be sure you seal those paints up as well. And I just love how this is looking. Now I did decide I wanted to kind of highlight in various places with some brown wax. I didn't go crazy with it, but I just got a little bit on my brush, sort of like a dry brushing technique with that brown wax. And I just went very lightly over the piece and blended and rubbed in the brown wax with that white wax. And you may be thinking, well, why would you do that? But until you try it, I'm telling y'all, it creates the most beautiful effect when you use both of those waxes, the white and then the brown, or well, definitely use white first, then the brown. But it just gives it a beautiful finish, and I love it. And then once you get the look you're trying to achieve, just wipe back that excess, and you can wipe back as much excess as you would like or as little, just all depending on the look you're trying to get. And here I am just wiping back that excess. You can use a lint-free cloth, a dry paper towel, anything like that that's not going to put lint on your piece, because it will get stuck in that tacky wax before that wax has had time to cure. And look how that turned out. I did want to add a tag onto this rolling pin. So these are just some cardboard tags I get off of Amazon. I grabbed some Elmer's glue and applied on that tag. And I had a little lemon printout in my stash. I'm sure I printed it off of an Etsy shop at some point, but I just cut around to make it fit onto that tag. I gave it a quick dry so that Elmer's glue could dry and that paper could adhere to that tag. And then I took my gator sander and just cleaned up the edges. You just want to clean up the overhang, the excess paper that's going off of your tag. Just gives it a clean look. And that was that. And I just stuck my scissors to create that little hole, tied a lace bow. And I love how this one turned out. I love the pairing of that cucumber ice color in the Dixie Belle with those lemon transfers, the simplicity of that lace bow, and the addition of the lemon tag. Y'all let me know what you think of this one. All right, guys, we have reached the end of today's video. Let's have a recap of all the rolling pins we made. I hope this gave you some great ideas and not leave those rolling pins behind in the thrift store. Our first rolling pin was this one here that we used the Apple Blossom IOD transfer on. Added some waxes and a bow. Next, we did the little mini rolling pins, and again, I get these off of Amazon. That link will be in the description box below. I love how the colors and the colors in the transfers paired on these so well, and I think these little transfers are super cute. And lastly, we made our lemon themed rolling pin. I love how the colors in the lemon transfer paired with the wood tones that we left the natural look. And then the Sweet Pickins white beeswax just topped the cake. I love it. Thank you all so much for joining me for today's video. I hope that you loved it. Leave me a comment and let me know your favorite project from today, your favorite rolling pin. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you on our next video. Have a blessed day, my friends. I will see you next time. Don't forget that I am now a retailer of the Sweet Pickins Milk Paint. You can message me anytime over on my Facebook business page for all of your milk paint orders. Thank you so much for watching today. You can also find me over on TikTok and Facebook. Don't forget to hit that bell before you leave so you won't miss any future videos.